going to have 50 to 100 million more Americans consuming at a higher rate than they would have in their own biological fucking countries. It's just fucking fact. You cannot change that.
So you're saying we have to bomb the United States?
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that.
Anti,
I'm saying
I'll tell you what, I'll be really disappointed one day if they tell me in America I can only have one child.
And that'll never happen. You don't want to have fucking 8 children.
I'm just saying, I want
it's
people to
all
have
about
freedom.
replacement rates. We would be like Japan right now.
And what makes some people have 8 children? Because they're uneducated.
Right, they're stupid.
So, actually, you know what?
And guess who's usually stupid and dumb?
You know what?
People from fucking third world countries.
That argument.
You want to know why they're dumb? Because education system they're all driven.
No, why they're dumb? Because their environment fucking predicted them to be fucking.
Stop trying to put my brain on the environment.
Fucking reproductive strategy. If your environment kills off more people, you're gonna want to fucking have more children, and then your culture evolves around
why
that.
they'll do that is because they aren't educated enough. You can't keep on going to this biological thing.
It's about fucking lifestyle choices and culture. If your
not
culture
education?
emphasizes education, then you are going to be smart. If your culture doesn't do that because they can't do it, then you're not going to be smart.
I'll tell you,
You're
a lot
do
of
it,
people,
it takes to survive.
a lot of it is a welfare state, and the fact that we pay a lot of women out there to have children. How the hell does that work? Seriously, I know
have a smart society. Dumb children have a dumb society. It's all comes down
giving
to.
people money produces a dumb society.
Right, I agree. It's dysgenic.
So when it comes down to, especially if I'm going to award a woman for having a child out of wedlock, and especially without a parent or without a husband, I'm already being my society.
I'm going to tell you right now, the best thing that could ever happen to America is that you put more abortion clinics in fucking impoverished areas, and that you encourage abortion among the poor.
Disgusting.
It is disgusting, but it's the fucking hard fact.
No, it's not. Education to get them from not actually that and contraceptive.
But if
what
you
do you
have
know?
a poor education system that is fucking
Also, hey, we know you're all dumb. We're not gonna fix the we're not gonna fix the root of this problem.
We're gonna fix fucking stupidity. But if you don't have the money to fucking fund those education societies, then you can't do it. Because your government's so
you don't even realize
money on other stupid shit.
You're speaking a real elitist line here.
It's not
that most they
I'm not an elitist.
Well, that's why it's sad. Is that
how is it fucking sad?
It's because you're a person just like me, yet you're promoting their agenda out there. That's why it's sad. Is that they have you speaking for them.
No.
This whole idea that you have right now is the same idea that they are doing right now.
I speak for people that should have a fucking job. Why should people's wages be crushed by foreign immigration? That people that
I agree with you about foreign immigration.
Why the fuck should they have their wages crushed? If their wages aren't crushed, guess what happens? Then wages go up because they have no choice but to pay Americans. And if you pay Americans, they're gonna want better things because they can afford better things. Eventually, your government will fucking
immigration right now is a byproduct of us shipping businesses overseas.
No shit, I fucking agree. It's stupid.
So
why should you ship businesses overseas when you have perfectly good people here? Just because it costs more. Fuck that. The best thing that ever happened for society is equality of wages, not by fucking fact or by law, just because it's tactics. Because you can't hire.
This is the problem with today's society.
Somewhere else.
This is the problem with today's society. It's run by these evil, gigantic corporations so that people must only care about and care about people themselves. They're ruling the system by what they do.
Populist fucking vote because they know the population.
I disagree with you on that.
By the gay
funny guy and the issue is why I disagree with it is because government allows it.
Yes, exactly. But do the people allow it?
No, people don't
want it. No, they don't want people to flood their fucking country. Why would anybody want their people to be flooded by some fucking different country, or different race, or different ethnicity, or different religion, or different political views by any man?
Well, okay,
doesn't matter.
Like,
why would you do that? That's stupid. That's
you have a perfect example of this happening on your southern states of border Mexico.
No shit, I understand this. It's fucking
You
retarded.
know what? And yet the government doesn't. Your government doesn't see a problem with it. We'll bring in immigrant workers to do the work for us.
Because poor immigrants will vote for Democrats who will give them the social benefits, and big business wants cheap labor.
No,
both
the fact
parties
is
fucking
that
win. And guess who gets screwed right in the fucking middle? Me and you and everybody else that's fucking poor worker class that has no fucking choice except to fucking deal with it.
So you're saying it's the people's fault, not the government?
And the people fucking vote for these people because they have no choice. All the rich people get the fucking votes. There's no populist movement in the United States today. The government is not to blame, it's the people, because the government fucking manipulates them, and then the rich people with all the money have the fucking power to put these fucking commercials out there and manipulate votes. There's no fucking populist party out there because there's no education in America. For anything, for whatever you say, for whatever anybody ever says, is that this is the facts of the matter, is that elites in the United States actually cared about people in the United States before, because they actually cared about limiting racial growth inside the United States. They were worried about too many Asians, they were worried about too many Chinese, they were worried about that, and protectionism was actually a viable economic policy before the fucking 40s and 50s and 60s and shit. And guess what happened when protectionism shifted away and it became free market liberalism? We all got fucking wages stagnant, and they haven't changed 40 fucking years. Wages are stagnant.
There needs to be a hard life in the government.
In the past 10 years, guess what? Most jobs, actually all job growth has been given to immigrants who have come into this country. How the fuck does that help Americans? Whatsoever. And if you're trying to help black people fucking get up to scale with white people, or even Hispanics who have a dropout rate of fucking 40%, you ain't fucking solving shit unless you give them fucking fair jobs, fucking good economy, and all that other fun shit along with it. It ain't gonna fucking happen. The elitist view is open markets and fucking multiculturalism. That's the elitist view. I'm fucking not for that shit.
There needs to be a hard life in the government.
No, it doesn't need to be hard left, it needs to be populist.
No, a hard right. A hard right. Reset.
I'm saying that people that actually care about having limited government, Hispanics and blacks actually prefer larger governments. So if you're looking for somebody to save the United States and democracy in general, you ain't gonna find it in blacks and Hispanics. Guess who the fucking future of America is? Blacks and Hispanics, 50% by 2040. And if this immigration law gets passed, guess what happens? It's fucking gonna be sooner, by 2030.
It doesn't work that easy, funny guy, because there's different competitive parties that we notice there. You know, they all run under Democratic or Republican, but they're different species once they get in there. I mean,
no,
Obama's
the problem
a fucking
is,
like I said, that's the problem with the Two-Party system.
Republicans want cheap labor.
And
there's
no
middle
pass
area for Americans.
Bills, but
Hey,
the Republicans on the
funny,
I didn't say our
systems are
system is
fucked.
different. I'm saying
Every
we're both screwed up, and I'm saying we both
system
have
is
to fix this problem. And until we fix it, we're not going to get any better.
But what do you suggest to do, funny guy? What do you want to do?
I don't know.
Exactly. What do you think is going to solve the problem? Remove the problem. That's how you solve a problem.
I think.
I'll tell you, us
think
expanding our
local-
military power around the world does not help either.
No, it
Yeah.
fucking does not help at all.
Having we talked about this the other day.
I
Having
agree.
300 military bases around the world and having a 12-year war that was completely stupid that we ended in 6 fucking months. No fucking raghead in the world can defeat an American soldier. It's not gonna fucking happen.
Nope.
They did not do shit until after a couple of years later. Then they started getting accurate
If
fire
we
and
bombed
learning
it
these
and left,
IEDs.
guess what happened? It would still
Because
be the same
we
shithole
taught
that
them
it
how
is
to
today.
fire. We taught them how to shoot their weapons. They didn't learn shit until we came over.
Actually,
there.
they know how to shoot weapons.
They didn't know how to do it when we first went over there. They didn't want to come in.
Yes, they
300
did.
They were
fucking
trained by the
meters in
Russians
front
to
of us.
begin
They
with.
were trained by fucking Al Qaeda, who was trained by the CIA. I know what you're saying. My point though is, if you don't involve yourself, you're not going to deal with it. If you just go in, blow it up, get done with it, like we did with fucking Japan and Germany, unless you destroy a large segment of the population, you cannot control the culture. You have to kill a lot of fucking people to control a culture. And that's a lot of fucking people.
And we wanted that oil, and guess what? We're losing the oil anyways to China. So we got screwed on every fucking end on that fucking
And
war.
what makes me sense we're one of the largest oil exporters. United
Because the North Dakota boom and shit like that, that's a little bit separate. It just happened.
When I heard we're
recently.
finally actually
I
digging
understand
some
what
of our
you're saying.
reserves.
I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense for America to be so dependent on the world when America can depend on itself. Workers, resources, and fucking military power.
From what I know, the reason
Why should we
why
be so
we're trying to get their
dependent on
oil is
Mexico,
so once it's
China,
depleted, we'll still have oil.
etc. And even if that is the fucking case,
Monopoly.
even if oil does become fucking like the only resource we can use, we should not. There's fucking other resources that we can use.
Too many
But
big
we want to be
businesses, man.
dependent on that shit because globalization means that there cannot be war because everybody's fucking stratified, which means you can never be in your own self-interest. Everybody has to fucking deal with each other's shit. Why do you think America's doing what it is? It's all about globalization. Globalization basically means there are no nation states, which means ethnicities, religion, everything that makes humans humans is fucking devoid, pointless, and dumb because globalization serves basically big economic interests. interests. And if you have big economic interests on the line, they will always fight against war because war destroys the point of big economic interests.
Make a lot of money on war.
It fucking everything that makes us who we are is because we are different. I love the Muslims because they're fucking Muslims. I'm so glad they're alive. I don't want them in my fucking country though. Same with everybody else. I'm glad you fucking exist. You make the world interesting, but I don't want you fucking here.
Well, that's the only sucky thing about that, Anti, is that kind of view right there. America really is the melting pot. I think I said that the other day.
It's the European melting pot. European melting pot is genetically fucking closely related. If you ever saw the fucking study,
our country, they don't want to go to any other country and change it.
90% of America is descended from Europe just because in 1960 that was America.
You see, that's
European. And guess what that means though? Look at this. In fucking the 1920s
you can get on an
to
airplane and go to
1930s,
another country.
30% of fucking people that came to America as immigrants left, which means we got left with the cream of the fucking crop. The people that worked hard, kept going, no matter what. Beyond and above the odds. Which means we didn't get stuck with the people that were gonna be fucking leeches to society. And guess what we are today? We are the open borders nation that lets anybody in, no matter what, because we want everybody to know that we are not racist. Blah, 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 blah. Guess what fucking happened? We're stuck with the dregs of all other countries' societies. So we're gonna have the fucking shittiest motherfuckers in our country doing the shitty fucking shit that they always do, which is violent crime. And guess what happens? We have to put more of them in fucking jail, which makes us look more racist because minorities by far commit the most amount of violent crime. It's a never-ending fucking cycle of stupidity. Why would you do that? Why would any smart nation do that? I blame it on PC fucking liberalism bullshit.
A lot of
It's not
it
really
isn't
our
thinking
nation.
about the consequences of what happens is, oh, well, if I let them in, I'm not racist.
Exactly. It's not even argumentative. They had honest discourse back in the fucking day. They were like, well, you know, those
I think-
Italians like to reproduce in stupid amounts of race.
I think
Maybe
the
we should limit that
racist
shit.
thing on the immigration thing is actually more than it is actually it's a global agenda.
Well, I
What do
agree
you,
too
what do
on
you
that.
mean? How do you
Eventually, the world leaders want us to be under global control, so there's one
Exactly.
control. It's easier.
But
and
if
this
you have
whole
one
thing under
ethnicity
at least
in
our
one
open
country, they're
border
going
with
to be less
Mexico.
likely to subject themselves to fucking foreign.
Yeah, well, that's what they want. I mean, that's what the U.S. established for. That's what they want. And the whole thing about keeping the Mexican border open right now is just because it's like it's pretty much a
subsumes
test
America with
phase
Mexicans, which means we
or
can never
a
fight for our own interests
transition
against
phase
Mexico.
about keeping North America completely open as one land. So
It's-
eventually, listen. So eventually, they're gonna have the North American, South American zone. Then they're gonna have the African Central zone, and then they're gonna have Eurozone. They do. The politicians. Well, yeah, I don't either. I'm just saying that's what they want right now, and that's why you're really seeing the Mexican border. I don't think it really has that much to do with us trying to say we're not racist, open up the borders. More
No,
than
it
it is the
does.
president
That's the
being told
argument that
down.
makes us all be
Then
like-
the president being told down from his superiors, this is the plan. We need to open up